Welcome to Elite's 5-Min2 training, the 30 to 60 second window, emergency response in childcare. Let's begin. Let me ask you a serious question. If a child in your classroom suddenly stopped breathing, would you know exactly what to do in the first 30 seconds? Because in an emergency, you don't have time to think. You only have time to act. And the truth is, most teachers freeze, not because they don't care, but because they're not trained for the moment. Let's take a moment for a real reality check. Emergencies don't send you a calendar invite. They don't give you a warning. And they definitely don't wait until you feel ready. 1 minute. Everything in your classroom is normal. Children are playing, laughing, learning. And the next moment, everything changes. A child chokes. A child falls. A child becomes unresponsive. And in that moment, there is no time to prepare. There's no time to say, let me go review my training. There's no time to figure it out as you go. You have to respond immediately. And here's the hardest truth. You don't get a second chance to get it right. Not in those first moments. Not when every second matters. That's why what we're talking about today is so important. Because preparation doesn't happen during the emergency. It happens before it. Emergencies don't come with warnings. A choking incident, a fall, a medical emergency. And here's what people don't realize. The first 30 to 60 seconds often determine the outcome. Not when help arrives, not when a director steps in, but what you do immediately. Here's where things go wrong. Panic takes over. No one takes control. Staff start yelling instead of responding. Precious seconds are lost. And in emergencies, seconds matter. This isn't about blame. This is about preparation. Here's something that might surprise you. Experience does not equal preparedness in an emergency. You can have 5, 10, even 20 years in the classroom, but if you've never been trained on how to respond in a real emergency, your brain is not going to magically know what to do. Why? Because emergencies are high-stress, high-pressure moments. And in those moments, your brain doesn't rise to the level of your experience. It falls to the level of your training. That means if you've never practiced CPR, if you've never walked through a real response scenario, if you've never been trained to take control, your brain may freeze. You may hesitate. You may second-guess yourself. And those few seconds of hesitation can make all the difference. This is why training matters. Training builds confidence. Training builds muscle memory. Training prepares you before the moment happens. Step 1. Assess fast. Look quickly. Is the child responsive? Are they breathing? What just happened? Step 2. Take control. You must become the leader in that moment. Give clear directions. Call 911. Get the first aid kit. Move the other children. Step 3. Start response. This is where training matters most. CPR. First aid. Immediate action. Because waiting is not an option. Now let's put this into action. Imagine you're in your classroom. Everything is going fine. And suddenly, a child collapses. They're not responding. In that moment, what you do first matters most. Take a second and choose your answer. The correct answer is, check for responsiveness and breathing. Before anything else, you must quickly assess the situation. This determines your next step, whether it's CPR, first aid, or calling for help. This is why training is so important, because in real life, you won't have time to think through options. You'll act based on what you've practiced. Here's the truth. You don't rise to the occasion in an emergency. You fall to your level of preparation. And if you're responsible for children, being unprepared is not an option. That's why CPR and first aid training is so critical. Not just to meet requirements, but to make sure when that moment comes, you know exactly what to do. If you're ready to build that confidence and be fully prepared, click the link and join our CPR and first aid training. I want to hear from you. What's your biggest fear during an emergency in your classroom? Is it not knowing what to do? Is it freezing in the moment? Is it something happening so fast you can't react? Drop your answer in the comments below, because the more we talk about it, the more we prepare for it. Let me leave you with this. Emergencies are unpredictable, but your response doesn't have to be. When you're trained, you don't panic. You act. And that's the difference between hoping everything goes right and knowing you're ready if it doesn't. At Elite, We don't just train you to check a box, we train you for real moments that matter. So if you're serious about protecting the children in your care, click the link and secure your spot in our CPR and first aid training today.